Welcome to the Igniting Hope Beliefs Gym, where we get to work out our beliefs again. You know, what we believe is more important than what we do. What we do certainly is important, but not as important as what we believe. My vision, my dream is that belief workouts will become more popular than physical fitness workouts. We get muscle by pushing against resistance, emotional resistance, the resistance of uncertainty, etc. And, you know, I'm hearing this over you who is listening or watching this podcast, that there's a grace that's going to come on you through this podcast that's going to energize you. It's going to give you vision. It's going to help you. We all battle with our beliefs. 1 Corinthians 10:13 says, no temptation has come upon us except which is common to man. And the greatest temptations we face are to renew our minds with lies, to believe lies. And we all hear them. The devil's a liar. He's a deceiver. His goal is to cause us, he wants us to believe the lie is truth, that we live under a deception. Now, we here at Igniting Hope we want to help us break off our agreement with lies. And so today, it's going to be a good one. The title of today's podcast is Stir It Up. Stir it up. The Apostle Paul told a young leader named Timothy. He said this in 2 Timothy 1. This is right about the end of Paul's life. And he says, stir up, verses 6 and 7, stir up the gift that is in you. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And I love it says stir up. And, I think about football teams, soccer teams, etc. at halftime, where or basketball teams, there can be a defeatist mindset because things aren't going as well as we thought. The opposition is stronger than we thought. Our weaknesses are being exposed more than we thought. And it's in that the coach gets to stir people up. And great leaders have great beliefs, great priorities, great habits and systems. And the most important person we lead is ourselves. So as we learn to stir up the gifts that's within us, as we learn to stir up the truths, as we learn to overcome a defeatist mindset, a fear-based mindset, then we rise up and we become thermostats in our own life. And thermostatic people become leaders and positive influencers. So stir up the gift that is in you. Now, it's interesting when you look at that word stir up, the Greek connotation of that is to fan into flame, and some translations actually say that, fan into flame. There's the imagery of a fire that's going out, of coals that are there, but the fire is not roaring, it's not blazing, it's dim, and we get the fan into flame. And I love this time of year, well, I kind of do, on my property here in Redding, California, where we have 5 acres and we burn brush. When it gets wetter, we can have a burn pile. And it's interesting just to look at how we burn that and some of the things. And, it's, if you put a bunch of wet wood on a fire that isn't burning much, then that wet wood is going to hinder, or it's going to probably cause it to go out. And I think about the wet wood of the news media, the wet wood of an old covenant connection with God, where we're more focused on what we're doing than what we're believing, or just the wet wood of believing lies. And there's things that we can put on our lives, or on our fire, our spiritual fire, our soul fire, our passion fire, that aren't helpful. But I know this too, as I can have a bunch of wet logs, but if I've got the fire going big enough, then the fire itself causes those things that would have put it out originally to get on fire themselves. And so even as we get our fire of beliefs going and our fire of passion going, then the news media doesn't affect us as much. Actually, we approach it in a different way. We overcome more easily the old covenant lies of being focused on our behavior more than what we believe. And lies, when the fire's going, they're laughable. They sound more ridiculous. More ridiculous. Stir up the gift that is in you. For God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. You know, there's some implications from that verse that are significant. One, we can have potential that is not realized. We have potential that can be unrealized. The implication there, Timothy, if you don't stir it up, if you keep living in fear, you're going to limit what could have happened in your life and you're not going to experience it. Secondly, we all have the capability to see an increase of the gifts we have. Now, the level of our increase is certainly our connection with God as we abide in him. John 15, it's going to happen, but it's in that abiding, it's in that relationship, and then we stir up so much through our beliefs and our what we say, then we can experience something higher. We have the capability of increasing the gifts and talents. Thirdly, fear keeps us from increase. Fear keeps us from increase. Fear kept the one talent person in Matthew 25 from increasing. And we all battle fear. And Paul says God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. And in these three things, power, love, and sound mind, are the fruits of stirring ourselves up. The fruit of stirring ourselves up. David encouraged himself in the Lord in 1 Samuel 30, verse 6. He stirred himself up. You're in a season right now of learning how to encourage yourself at a higher level. The grace of the Lord is on you to do that. You're in a season where God is upgrading your ability to stir up the gifts that are in you. It reminds me, too, of 1 Timothy 4:14, and where Paul told Timothy this. He said, do not neglect the gift that is in you, which was given to you by prophecy with the laying hands of the eldership. There's gifts in you. There's gifts in me. There's something the world needs. Isaiah 60 says, arise, shine, for the light has come. You say, well, man, there's so much uncertainty around. There's so much challenge. And it says, in Isaiah gives the context, for deep darkness has covered the face of the earth and the people. That's the context where we arise and shine. But Isaiah says, the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. And so we arise, we stir up what's in us. We overcome our fear of failure. We overcome the fear of lack of resources. We overcome the fear of what people think about us. And we arise and shine. You say, well, I'm going to wait for God to do something. I'm going to wait for God to touch me. I'm going to wait for God to bring revival to me. Listen, or I'm going to wait for this problem to get over. And certainly we manage our lives, but what happens when we arise and shine, when we stir ourselves up, when we start moving forward, our forward movement in life causes Red Seas to part. They cause Red Seas to part. Now, let me just give you five things, 5 ways to stir up the gift that's within you. There's many others. The number one is speak life. We speak life. You can't think a lie when you speak the truth. Great coaches aren't silent in the locker room. They're not silent before the game. The players are not silent. They stir up the gifts that's within. And just one of the things that we do as influencers is that we break the losing culture off of ourselves. We stir up that which is within us. We're not passive. We're not procrastinators. We don't have poverty mindsets. We're not people bound in perfection. We're stirring ourselves up by what we say. What we say. We're our own coach. We in these belief workouts, we speak life. We get in our car, we speak life. We make faith declarations. Number 2 is we have eagle relationships. It is good to hang out with people who have more fire than us, who have more vision than us, who are taking more risks than us. It's good to hang out with them, whether it's personal relationships, books, conferences, mentorship, etc. If we hang out with eagles, we'll become an eagle. Number 3, get inspiring media into your life, podcasts, audiobooks, just books, devotionals that keep and make it difficult for the fire to go out, for the flame to go out. Number 4 is celebrate progress, not perfection. Celebrate your progress. Celebrate your successes. This morning, during my time with the Lord, I wrote down things that I celebrated about me. Celebrated about things. Just some relational things that I've leaned in relationally, and some family connections. I celebrate, just as I think about the last few days, I celebrate where we're living in some uncertainty, where I haven't gone as low as I used to. I've caught that quicker, where the lies want to I want to renew my mind. No, I renew my mind less with those things, and I go back to the truth quicker. I celebrate my successes. And then number 5 is use your imagination. Wendy, my wife, says the imagination is the womb of faith. We use our imagination. We see. We take time. God didn't give us the imagination to be the devil's playhouse. The imagination truly is the womb of faith, and where we can see it. God told Abram, look at the stars, look at the sand. I want you to get an image to keep there. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Stir it up. Stir it up. Hebrews 10:24, another verse that comes to me, it says, let us consider one another to stir up love and good works. And one of the ways is we consider other people and what we like about them and how we can stir them up. It keeps us stirred up because healthy people have their eyes looking upward and outward, upward at God, full of thanks, full of thanksgiving. There's so many other things we could say about this, about what we put on our fire, Thanksgiving, for how we've come. Thanksgiving puts extra fuel, dry wood on the fire. Remembering our testimonies is such a great way to keep the fire going, focusing more on how far we've come than how far we think we need to go. We stir it up. Great leaders learn to light their own fire. Great leaders, you're a great leader. We all have reasons why this is not a convenient season to stir it up. And I know there's times where we take sabbaticals and rest and where we're just letting the Lord do a deep work in us. And I understand that. But we all have the opportunity as a young leader to overcome fear and to stir up the gifts of God that's in us. You've got gifts. Nobody can do it like you. Nobody can say it like you. You can reach a certain type of person that other people can't reach. I mean, they can reach, but it's easier for you because you've overcome some things. We stir up the gifts. We stir up all the gifts of the Holy Spirit that are mentioned in 1 Corinthians. We stir them up. And just like a Just like a pot of stew on the stove, we stir it up, we stir our lives up, we make sure everything's mixed together. Hey, thanks so much for listening to this podcast, Stir It Up. Yes, a couple things I want to mention from Igniting Hope. By the way, the first pillar, leadership pillar, that I teach in the 8 pillars of leadership is inspiring and leading yourself, which is a big part of the Backlund Leadership Academy that's starting September 2026. If you're looking for something radical, I mean, the first year we did it, last year we had 36 graduates. 20 of them wrote a book. The other 16 did an online course or started something in a consistent basis. A dream project that's part of the Backlund Leadership Academy. We're unlocking gifts. We're helping people stir up the gift that's within them. That's going to start. And we're in January, we're kind of giving a smaller version of that with my wife, Wendy. We're doing the Victorious Living course starting in January, 16 weeks. We're doing the 8 pillars of leadership as well in that. And it's a smaller version, but it's going to give a taste for what the academy's like. But you get Wendy. You get a lot of Wendy in this. So that's 16 weeks of Victorious Living. You can go to ignitinghopeacademy.com. It's going to be really powerful. It's going to be a great way to start the year, 2026. If you can't afford it, let us know. Email us at info@ignitinghope.com. Say, I want to be a part of the Victorious Living course. I can't afford the full price. Here's what I can do. We have payment plans as well. We really believe that course because there's something special that's on Wendy. Our team, our second-year Backlund Leadership Academy students are also going to be giving inputs. There's going to be a lot of special features to that particular course. It's coming up. I'm going to be in Albany, Oregon on the first Sunday in December, and we're going to be doing a morning and evening service. Love for you to come if you're in the area. I'm going to be in Caldwell, Idaho, where we're moving. I'll be ministering there, Wendy and I, the first weekend there after the new year in January. Wendy and I will be in Powell, Ohio in the end of January near Columbus. Love for you to come and see us there. If you're a podcast listener, I will be in Germany in February, and go to our itinerary at ignitinghope.com to find more info about that. All right. Wow. Hey, we're here to ignite your hope. If you like these podcasts, why don't you tell somebody else about them? You are stirring it up in your life. We all battle the same lies that want to make us tired, that want to make us quit, that want to make us feel we're less than others. We all battle the same ones. And we're here to ignite your hope. The Greek meaning for the word hope is the confident, joyful expectation that good is coming. The confident, joyful expectation that good is coming. Wow. You know, first Romans 15:13 says, now may the God of hope fill you. Now may the God of the confident, joyful expectation that good is coming fill you with all joy and peace in believing that you may abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. There's always a reason to be pessimistic. As long as I've been a Christian for over 50 years now, there's always been a reason to be pessimistic. Our future is as bright as the promises of God. I believe after love, hope is the most powerful leadership quality there is. I work, besides my intimacy with the Lord, I work on my hope, which is my beliefs, because hope is a perspective of joy, and hope is the fruit of good beliefs. And I work on my hope more than really any other aspect of my leadership, of my influence. And because my hopelessness about a problem is a bigger problem than a problem, or my lack of hope about a situation is almost always a bigger problem than the situation itself, because my lack of hope tells me I'm renewing my mind with a lie instead of a truth. And transformation doesn't come from trying harder, it comes from believing higher. Love it. You're entering a season of greater hope. You're entering a season where the revelation of truth is growing in you, which is going to lead to greater hope, which is going to lead to greater influence in your own life, your family, your loved ones, your neighborhood, your city, your nation, your church. It just happens. You're stirring up the gift of hope in you. It's going. And then the joy of the Lord is our strength. I don't need strength at the end of the battle. I need strength in the middle of the battle. I used to think, well, I'll wait for all my uncertainties to be over, and I'm completely satisfied with me when all the people in my life are doing what I think they should be doing. I have all the money that I need, and I'm not hearing any negative news in the media. Yep, then I'll be joyful. Well, the Lord says you don't need strength then, you need strength now. We've got things that are happening. I believe that our spiritual load-bearing capacity is in direct proportion to the level of joy in our life. Oh, that's a good word right there. And really, it's not convenient. One of the most powerful questions we can ever ask is, why am I not radically joyful right now? Whew, Lord, I'll get back to you on that one. And again, we have seasons of mourning, we have seasons, but we can't make it a lifestyle. You're entering a season of greater joy. Joy is 1/3 of the kingdom. God is going to open your eyes and is going to release a grace on you to have an eternal perspective, which is the foundation for joy, but then also see what God is doing in you through the various trials, because you are entering a place of really seeing the growth opportunities through the things that want to frustrate you. We stir up joy through thanksgiving, delighting in the Lord. And the last thing I wanted to say, just got to add an extra little bonus here to this. We're thermostats, not thermometers. Thermostatic people think, act, and talk higher than the environments they're in. Thermostatic people think, act, and talk higher than the environments they're in. That's what makes you a leader. You think, act, and talk higher than the environments you're in. And it starts in the home. Our home. Now, whether it's our home, whether it's our workplace, whether it's our city, whether it's our nation, whether it's our church, whether it's other extended family relationships, we all have things about them we wish were different. So let's laugh at that. But it's in that. When I come home, I want to, in a home with Wendy, with our family, I know that's the most important place for me to be a thermostat. That's it. I'm not a thermometer. I set new temperatures in what I think and what I say and how I do things. That's a good word right there. Thank you. I take that word, Steve. Thank you. Hey, thank you so much for supporting Igniting Hope through prayer. Thank you for those who have become vision partners as well and just have sensed the call of the Lord to consistently sow financially. I know that's not everybody. Not everybody's called to do it, and that's fine. But some of you, you're just feeling prompted of the Lord to do that. Others of you already doing it. Thank you so much. We just bless that. It means a lot as we're entering this new season of transition and growth and focusing really in on what the Lord is having us do as I come off Bethel's staff at Redding, California, and just really go deeper into igniting hope and that. And so just thank you guys just for your support, your prayer on that. And I just want to say this over you today, that, and I've prophesied a few things already, but I want to say this. as I'm praying over the Igniting Hope family, I'm hearing that there's key people within the sound of my voice who are going to help people who are doubting their faith. And specifically, there's some of you who are going to create resources and connection points for people who are doubting their faith to really answer questions and really help walk them through that. And it's tricky, when people do doubt, but it also opens up an opportunity for the Lord to really answer deep questions that maybe that have not been answered before in the lives of people. I'm also hearing this, and I've said this many times, but I feel like I want to say it again. Provision is coming to you from sources you do not expect. I'm hearing that God is opening your eyes to what he's doing in your neighborhood. And there's a fresh grace in your neighborhood to serve, to love, to connect. I'm also hearing, this is just a random word, someone is going to clean out their garage. And as you do that, it's going to be easier than you think. As you do that, that's going to create momentum for cleaning up some other things that actually, it's a little thing that's going to have a big difference in your life. Wow. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the podcast. You can find us again at ignitinghope.com. If you're not signed up for our newsletter and you want to know about what we're doing, what we're about, get our weekly blog on Mondays, and then other things. We try not to overwhelm people with emails, but we love to just let people know. We're doing the Victorious Living course in January. We're doing our annual Negativity Fast Positivity Feast. I believe that starts in February, Lent this year. We're doing the Transformational Mind Renewal course, 5 months of that's going to happen after the fast. And then there's just many, many other things. Our good friends, Peter and Melinda Lahai, are doing an online marriage seminar or conference, 2-day event. Actually, it's going to be in person here, and I believe it's also online. I better find that out. She works for me, and her and Peter have such a great anointing in marriage. If you're interested in that, just let us know. All right. God bless.